Adria Firestone, speaker, author, coach in the From Your Heart series. I never knew it was going to be called that until right now. So that feels good. So I was looking through letters, and that's where the last edition of this From the Heart series came from, a letter that I had written to Wayne Dyer. This one is a letter that I wrote to a client who was going back and forth with, I want to do this job. I don't want to do this job. They don't appreciate me enough. I don't like how they're pulling me around. This is just awful. I don't want to do this. And I told them the story of Samson and Delilah in Australia, an adventure that I went through. I'm going to read some of it and probably add to it. So I was put on hold with my agents at Columbia Artist Management to do a Samson and Delilah with Queensland Operas in Australia. We were all happy about the arrangement, and suddenly, 3 months before the production, we were told, with no monetary compensation, and we'd turned down a couple of other jobs, that I was released from the hold, and the conductor who was doing the job didn't think I had the chops to sing Delilah. I was heartbroken. I was devastated. I just thought, I can't believe this. But you just walk through it and you keep going. So at the time then, this was the 3 months later, I was in San Diego doing a world premiere of El Conquistador, and my agent got a frantic call. My agent in Spain and my New York agent, Columbia Artist Management, they had lost their Delilah, and they'd called all over the world, and on such short notice, nobody was available because rehearsals were beginning in something like a week. This was extremely last minute. I had to fly from San Diego to Australia. The problem was the conductor who thought I wasn't good enough to sing Delilah had tragically died in a motorcycle crash. The Delilah who was hired broke her Achilles tendon, and they called all over the world, and nobody was available. When I heard this, I didn't even ask how much are they going to pay me. I just said yes. And the reason why I said yes is because my heart knew that I needed to do this, that this was right for me. First of all, I adore that music. That music is some of the most beautiful music in the world. Samson and Delilah by Camille Saint-Saëns. Listen to it. It's extraordinary. So the director of the opera company, all during the rehearsals, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks, this was a new production, never said a word to me. Never said a word to me. The new conductor, was thrilled with it. And we did the production, and it was the best singing of my life. I don't think I've ever sung, maybe in Aida, as Amneris in Aida, but Delilah, I don't know, special place in my heart and obviously in my throat. So the director of the opera company took me to dinner. So I produced the letter as the appetizer was coming and said, this is what the man who hired me said. Quote, Adria really doesn't have the stuff to sing a Delilah. And I asked her, why is it that we have the most incredible reviews in every single newspaper saying it was the most ravishing singing they've ever heard, as well as the most incredible portrayal? Every newspaper has given me a 5-star review. What have you got to say? She didn't answer me. So I said, if you can't say you're sorry and you were wrong, then we don't need to continue this dinner. I'll save you the cost of the rest of the dinner and I'll take a cab back to my apartment. She did apologize. But here's the best part of it. It wasn't about that, although yes, I wanted to face what had happened. That is something, a quality that I like in myself. I like facing it, to put it under the rug. It's kind of like holding a beach ball under the water. And no matter how strong you are, if you do that for a while, your arms are going to get tired and the ball is going to burst through the water and hit you in the face. That's what the past does. It bursts through and hits you in the face unless you address it. So I had the greatest, reading back to the letter, I had the greatest artistic success of my career, but not because I hoped they would hire me again, not because I thought they would like me. I did it because I knew I would be a magnificent Dalila, and I knew I would do my best work. You know, when you know something with all of your cells, I knew it. So for all of you who go through this with a job, why am I doing this? They don't like me. They don't appreciate me. What is in it for you? What do you want out of this? I didn't do it for the reviews. Yes, I got incredible reviews, but it wasn't about that. It was that my heart knew that I needed to sing this character. I just knew it. So there was absolutely no regrets, and the most beautiful cast and crew. We had the best time. It was one of the most beautiful artistic experiences of my life. It was truly memorable. So to this day, I remember the joy and the pleasure of feeling that music course through me. It was an incredible feeling of singing Printemps qui commence, Delilah's first aria, and sliding down Samson's body and kissing his feet and still singing and seeing Roland, the conductor, looking at me, Roland Peelman, looking at me with his mouth slightly agape, conducting. It was a great experience. So because of, this is very Italian, you know, vengeance, you have to have vengeance. And I'm half Italian and half Cuban. So let's not forget that. I thought, that's not worth anything. What I want is to immerse myself in that music and that character. And it's wonderful. It is so exciting. So ask yourself, and I think this is the most important paragraph in the letter, can you get to a place where you take a job only because it pleases you? Can you take a job purely because it pays a bill? Can you take a job without worrying about whether they're going to hire you again or whether they're going to like you? If you can do that, you are on your way to being inner directed. And that's extraordinary. That's the beginning of what real power feels like. You're doing it for yourself. So remember that when you're making a decision today, tomorrow, next week. What will it give your heart? What will it give your soul? And when it, you know, if you build it, they will come. No, not necessarily. But did it please you to build it? Did it please you to do it? Then do it. Do it for you. Because in trying to please everyone else, we bend ourselves into the most uncomfortable and inauthentic shapes. What lights you up the way that music and that role lit me up? What is it? And then put everything else aside. It doesn't matter if nobody likes you doing it, as long as you're doing it and you're happy. So that's all I've got to say today. I hope that was a help. That when you consider doing anything, it's not about who's going to like you, how wonderful they think you are, how much they're going to pay you. What does your heart feel about it? Your job that you take may be just something to pay the bills, but what you really love is horticulture and you love growing tomatoes. I may end up growing tomatoes someday. I don't know. It could happen. All right, Adria Firestone, speaker, author, coach, signing off, and I'm saying see you later, alligator. Bye-bye.